Hey man.
Hey.
I ain't gonna take too much of your time.
What's up?
If you're in a hurry. Alright. So you know one of my job here now, you may or may not know, internal affairs investigation. Alright, so you got a right to know I've been asked to open up an IA into theft of time, I guess I would call it.
Mm-hmm.
Being on the clock while you're not actually present at work.
Okay.
With that being said, you have rights as an employee.
Mm-hmm.
I will read you those rights and present you with a copy of them before I even proceed with my interview.
Sure.
All right. So I'll read it to you. I'll also give you a copy, and you can read it.
Okay.
So you're hereby ordered to to fully cooperate with the investigating officials. It's just me in here. Your failure to cooperate will create an objective and subjective fear of termination.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the following rights and responsibilities during the investigation. You have the right to be informed of the allegations involved, which
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk to you about, and I've already kind of gave you a brief synopsis of it.
Yeah.
You'll be asked questions specifically directed to and narrowly related to the performance of your official duties.
Mm-hmm.
That's just been.
Yeah.
Statements made during any interviews may be used against you, or may be used as evidence of misconduct or as the basis of seeking disciplinary action against you.
Okay.
I'll read these and I'm going to give you the layman's terms as well. Any statements made by you during these interviews cannot be used against you in any subsequent criminal proceeding, nor can the fruits of anything, the statements you may hear, be used against you in any subsequent criminal proceeding. If you do so, a person of your choice may be present to serve as a witness during the interviews. If you refuse to answer the questions relating to the performance of your duties here, you will be subject to dismissal.
Okay.
So, I'm going to give you the layman's terms of Garrity rights.
Okay.
Basically, this is not a criminal interview. Anything you say in a IA interview cannot legally be used criminally.
Okay.
So even if it is a criminal issue, anything said in here cannot be used in any criminal investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what the employer, the right they have is if you don't cooperate with the IA, then they have the right to discipline or terminate you based on your cooperation. That's all it's saying.
Yes, sir.
And if you understand that, I'd appreciate it if you sign it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a pen?
Mhm. And that comes straight from Garrity.org. That is not a Bullitt County form. That is a employer rights form.
16. Yeah.
The 16th at 2:38 in the afternoon.
Where the hell is my...
I can give you a copy of that.
Oh, yeah,
too,
you
if
did say
want.
that. I forgot.
Okay,
You did
I'll go
say
ahead.
that. You did say that.
Like I said, if you just search Garrity, it's like the first thing that even pops up on Google.
Oh.
And that's where I get the sheets from.
Okay.
It's not a sheriff's office form. Okay. Sign a little bit as well. Alright, so a background of this is I don't choose to open IAs. I'm directed by
Somebody has to
command
prompt
staff,
it.
yes,
I got you.
to open up an internal, and the command staff being responsible for opening IAs is badge number 1 and badge number 2.
Okay.
So it's not, it comes from the top. It's not something that I get to pick and choose what I do. The basis of an
That's your
IA,
job to do, Quinn.
yeah,
I
right.
get it.
I've got some people like to have it explained to them,
No,
and you have the right to have it explained to you. So that's
Yeah.
why I do so.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it's not done with malicious intent. And also, all I do is I'm a fact finder. I find the facts and I try to present them in a clear, concise way back to whoever asked me to open the internal affairs investigation. Again, internal affairs is not part of any disciplinary action as well. So we don't get to decide discipline. We decide facts. We present facts, and that's what internal affairs does. I think there's a misconception that we're the bad guys or whatever. I may be misconstrued as a bad person, but I'm simply just. I find the facts and I present them, and whatever happens, it goes out of the way.
I say, yeah, you're just doing your job.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So the basis of the allegations is between the dates of December 13th of last year, so right before the new year,
Okay.
and the third day of this month, being February 3rd,
Okay.
there's been a total of 46 hours which you were clocked in for, subsequently paid for,
Mhm.
but not on the clock.
Okay.
Now, here is a list of dates compiled, as well as a few others. However, the majority of the time that was unaccounted for
Mhm.
was on your pay stub versus everybody else's. So,
Okay.
total of 46 hours. You're going to see other names on here, but that's not the basis
Well,
of
I just want
you
concerned
saying.
about mine.
Yeah, no, I'm
So
not.
let me see
I'm saying
mine.
there's other.
Yeah. Oh, you said it's other names
people
on here.
Yes.
Got you. Okay.
But and also, I did not create the spreadsheet. It was given to me by
Okay.
people that see. I can't look at times. I'm not.
my name wrong.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't create the spreadsheet, and I'm not a timekeeper. You know, the time system we have,
Mhm.
I can't go on there. I can't see who's logged in. So that was prepared for me and given to me, as well as.
Backwards. I did it backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And
Okay.
I'll let you review that before I.
No, I'm still
go on.
listening. You're
Okay.
fine. Yeah, you're fine.
Well, to back up the spreadsheets,
Mhm.
I was also given the video footage that corroborates the clock in and out times.
Okay.
So it seems that you may have been clocked in by somebody else,
Mhm.
and been here or not been here and have somebody clock you out. And it seems that some days it was just a little bit here, a little bit there, and then some days were larger chunks of time that were unaccounted for. So I'll ask you this: have you any days get someone to clock you out and got paid for hours you were not working?
I have forgotten to clock out
Mhm.
on some occasions, and I have had called.
Right.
I asked somebody, say, hey, clock me out. I forgot to clock out.
Okay.
And there have been other occasions as to where I have filled out a time slip as saying, because whether the time clock was down, I forgot to clock in, whatever that.
Right.
Then that is that. But
Okay.
That's the extent of that.
A specific day was February 3rd, which is also the last day included in the spreadsheet. February 3rd was a Friday.
Yes.
First Friday of the month. It seemed like there was a total of 14 hours that they, the spreadsheet says you weren't here.
For the 3rd?
Yes. It says you clocked in at 6:55 in the morning, and you got clocked back out at 11:14 in the morning, and at no point in the day were you there.
I called because I forgot to clock out, but I did not intentionally stay on no clock. What was that? You said 14 hours?
Mm-hmm.
No.
There was a 4-hour block in the morning.
What's the time I came in?
You were clocked in twice that day. The first time you clocked in at 6:55 a.m. and clocked back out at 10:14 a.m. for a total of 4.25 hours.
No, you said it was clocked in twice that day.
You were, and I'll tell you your second clock in. Your second clock in was at 18:29, so that's at 6:30
That's
roughly.
6:30 that evening.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming in for evening shift, left mid shift. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Let me look back at my calendar.
But that's not up for argument, because you were there. You're on camera clocking in.
No.
Yeah, like you were there. Like you clocked yourself in.
I clocked myself in. But you said this was on the 3rd.
Yes.
You did say 3rd, right?
Yes, sir. February 3rd.
Yeah, so February 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. It's like a Bugs Life movie. And then what time? You said I clocked out at what time?
The first clock out time was at 11:14 a.m.
Okay, I called back up here because I was on night shift, and I said I forgot to clock myself out. And then the clock in that you see me clocking back in is when I came back to shift, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But who clocked you in that morning is what's confusing me.
No one clocked me in that morning. I clocked myself in.
But
you talking about clock me out? Yes, but no one clocked me in. I clocked myself out.
So you're saying the morning of February 3rd at 6:55 in the morning, you were there to clock yourself in?
No, I was on night shift, so I had to be clocking out around that time.
But you didn't work the night before.
February 3rd?
You weren't clocked in the night before. Let me.
Yeah, because I'm confused now.
Yes.
And then what time does it have me coming in on camera? Because go back to the timestamp.
It has you coming in at 18:29, which is 6:29 in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
and you worked.
And I was clocked in all day that day.
You were clocked in for 4 hours in the morning, and then came back in at, or excuse me, clocked back in at 18:29 in the evening.
Okay.
Which you were there. I know for a fact you were there because I can see you there.
No, I'm just trying to make it make sense in context for myself.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah. So that evening, I had to had work that previous night to clock myself out, because nobody would clock me in at something in the morning time, clock me out, and then I come back in
Right.
on shift.
But you were working a normal shift, correct?
I'm on night shift. That's
Mhm.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I said, so it makes sense if I'm clocking out at that 6:55 a.m.
Mhm.
and now, like I said, I had forgot to clock out, and I called back and somebody clocked me. I don't understand the clock in part. That's the part I'm lost at. Because you said I was clocked back in after the 6:55, right?
Yes.
I should not have been. I don't. Now that part, I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to understand.
And I can explain it to you. So you work a normal shift: Monday, Tuesday off, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then flip
Yeah,
flop.
with days in between where I
Mhm.
come in. Like today, I'm not scheduled, but I'm here.
Right. So this was a Friday that I'm asking you about.
Okay.
The day before that was Thursday, and the day before that was Wednesday.
Okay, so what were my hours that I came into work that Thursday that Wednesday and Thursday?
You did not work that Tuesday to Wednesday, or Thursday. No, excuse me. You worked Tuesday because that was your day. You were off Wednesday, Thursday. There's no time for all.
Okay.
And then Friday morning, there's a mysterious clock in at 6:55, and then clock back out at 11:14. But there's no Donte on camera.
No. I'm not.
So you don't say.
I don't recall that
Okay,
at all.
all right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and BS you. Because
Okay.
if I did something, I'd say, hey, yeah,
Okay.
I don't recall that.
And then, let's see.
Now, whether or not, I don't know, because I have done this myself.
Right.
My number is different, like I think one digit off from somebody else's, and I did clock somebody else in. This
Okay.
was months ago.
Right.
But then I got on there because someone said double look, and I looked and it wasn't me, and I clocked out. Somebody else in the county. It wasn't
Okay.
the employee was here.
All right. So
that was the longest span of time, because you said that was like 4 hours and something.
no, this is the longest span of time.
Okay.
Now that we're going to focus on same
Okay.
day, different times. All right. So you clocked in at 18:29, which is 6:29 in the evening.
Okay.
You were on camera at 6:29, so you were there. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
You were saw leaving with your belongings as well at 12:35. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. Rescind that. You were saw leaving at 2:35 in the morning.
Okay.
And then clocked out and you were clocked out the next day at noon 35, 12:35. So that was a total of 10 hours, which you were not here for. I'm not saying that was a 10-hour shift you were clocked in.
You said I was clocked in for 10 hours.
You were absent for 10 hours because.
Yeah, I don't recall that. Now, it's been times, like I said, I've forgotten to clock out, and I have called.
Now, I forget to clock out like every day.
I have forgotten.
But I have to get Bobby to fix it.
But that whole part right there,
Yeah.
I don't remember that gap in time.
Okay.
If I remember, I'm gonna tell you. If I
Yeah,
don't, I don't remember that gap in time.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that sometimes, like, you may get home and be like, oh crap, I forgot to clock out, but that's like 15, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when it becomes repetitive, and then we have multiple days where it's multiple times, because I allowed you to look at the spreadsheet. It wasn't. There are some days where it's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
But
and like I don't.
But the two longest gaps is what has me concerned.
That
the last one you said that was 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I think you said the one previous to that one was 2 hours or something like that. It was 3 hours or something.
Well, if we're going through day by day, you got hour and a half hour, 15 minutes, don't care. Hour 45, that's significant.
That's significant.
3.15, that's significant. 2 hours, I'm gonna skip over anything less than an hour. I'll just skip over.
Okay.
Hour and a half, 4.15 hours. 2 hours, 3.5 hours, hour and a half, hour point 15, hour and a quarter, 3.5 hours, and then the day that we've really just focused on, because it's the most recent. And I understand this is a lot. Remember, this is since December 13th of 2022.
Okay. Well, I don't recall I think you said 4 hour gap or wherever that was, that one, and then the one where you said I was clocked in at 6:55,
Mhm.
clock back out at 10 something, and then clock
Yeah.
back in at the 18.
That's fine. If you don't,
Yeah.
dude, I understand, like, working night shift, day shift, like, and asking to clock in and out.
Mhm.
I'm not expecting you to be able to recall specifically
understand.
dates coming in and out. However, for sake of this investigation, there's a pattern,
Mhm.
and it's easy to see. So it's just like,
Those two occurrences.
yeah.
Now, like I said,
Right.
I'm forgetful. I'm
But-
bad about clocking in and
right.
clocking out.
And we all are, but
But-
the thing is that we're responsible for our time.
Well.
We approve our time, and even if it was an isolated incident on the 3rd, we probably wouldn't be sitting here talking about
understand.
this. So,
But is that last block of time really that? Because that's hours and hours, and
well, let's pretend the last block doesn't.
okay.
We don't have to focus on that anymore. If we focus on every other day, which
Mhm.
we have 3 months of information that was given to me,
Mhm.
and the information is corroborated really good with
Mhm.
the screenshots from our video security footage.
Mhm.
So it looks like someone's just been clocking you in early, and then on days, there's many days where you clock yourself out and you walk out to your car and leave.
Mhm.
But there's also a lot of days where you clocked in about 7 o'clock,
Mhm.
and then you come in at 8. That happens. That's a lot of time on here.
At 8, which days were that?
All right, so on the 2nd day of the year, so 1/2 of 23,
Okay.
you clocked in at 6. You didn't arrive till 7:06.
Okay.
You clocked out at 16:56.
Mhm.
However, you physically left the building at 14:47. So that day was a total of 3.15 hours.
Mhm. So this was the first.
If you want to go to the 5th,
Mhm.
you clocked in at 7:51. You were here at 7:50, so that's the same.
Mhm.
You clocked out at 16:04. However, you left the building at 14:05. So that's 2 hours on the dot.
And this was which day?
That was the 5th.
The 5th of January.
So on the 6th, you clocked in at 7:01, but you didn't arrive in your car and walk through the door until 7:40. So what I have here, if I just look at 1 week,
Mhm.
is a pattern of just you got people clocking you in and out.
Okay. Who
And-
says somebody was clocking me in and out?
If you're not physically here, you can't clock yourself in. So someone's clocking you in and out.
Okay.
So the biggest question I have is, did you instruct people to clock you in or to clock you out on any of these
Clock
days?
me in, no. Clock me out, because like I said, because sometimes I do.
And I understand an isolated incident.
Because of me being home or
Yeah.
whatnot and stuff, so did not want to come up here. Yes, I did.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but are you saying that you never had anybody clock you in before you arrived?
Nobody clocked me in. I haven't done it. Now, have I called and asked for people to clock me out? Yes, I have.
Have you called early in the morning and got people to clock you in before you arrived
No,
at work?
I've
So-
never called up here.
Humor me. I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
Mhm.
So, where are these phantom clock-ins coming from? If you're not directing them
Mhm.
and you're saying no one's doing it,
Yeah, nobody's clocking me in. No one's clocking me in.
so well, someone is. It doesn't just magically appear.
I didn't say that someone was. Some days I have clocked myself in, but as far as anyone else clocking me in, no. Now, has people clocked me out? Yes, they have. They've done that.
Yeah,
because like I said, I have forgotten to clock
Right.
in and forgotten to clock out before.
Okay. But someone's doing these clock-ins.
No one's clocking me in. I'm clocking myself in. I've clocked myself in the past. I'll say that. But no. But I have called and I've had various people just clock me out. Hey, I forgot to clock myself out.
All right. Do you always clock in on the computer in there?
Majority of the time. Now, there have been times where I have like clocked in on my phone, which I know we're not supposed to do.
Yes.
But I have.
The days where there's multiple days where it's at least an hour before you show up to work, but you've been clocked in for an hour. Are those the days where you have clocked in on the phone and then shown up to work?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Because those days I have maybe been en route to work.
Yeah.
But something might have transpired, whatever the case is.
Would
and I had to turn around.
Would it be fair to say that a majority of this time is probably from clocking in on the phone.
Myself, yes.
Clocking yourself in.
That's correct.
On the phone and then coming to work.
Yes, sir.
And it, as you can see, man, like if you do it once or twice here and there and something comes up, it's kind of like a blip on the radar, but it adds up. Yeah. And if it's thrown on my desk, it's enough.
You have your job to do.
No, I'm not.
I said you're fine.
No, I'm saying if it winds up on my desk, there's a reason. Like you've done it something excessively, you know, man. Because we let a lot slide around here. We don't like to bite people's heads off, but if it's here, it's become a problem. So and I'll let you look at this again.
Okay.
So I really want you to focus on the clock in and arrival and the clock out and the left at.
Okay.
And you will see that, and so just look at yours again. Look at the your time, and if you see to the right of every column, if there's a yellow block, that is your time, and that is any time in yellow is time that you weren't physically here
physically present.
So for the most part, can you just look over that? And I know we're talking about 3 months, but would you?
I'm about to say, I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of it.
Yeah, but can we agree that majority of that time, if not almost like 80%, is probably just you clocking in before you got here? I know there's a few mistakes where it's like, all right, well, I got home, clock me out, but I feel like a lot of it is you clock in, and then an hour and a half later, Donte comes in the door. And I'll give you a second to read that.
I thought it was a third sheet attached to this.
There it is. Here you go. Oh.
Oh, well, I'll be able to obtain a copy of these as well, Clint.
Yes, I'll tell you how you get a copy of my entire case file. The conclusion of the investigation, which hopefully will be done like tomorrow when I get everything typed up.
Okay.
Georgia internal investigation laws requires it be subject to open records request 10 days after the closing of the investigation.
And where would I go to obtain the copy? Would it be able to
Emily, yeah, they already know, right? Yep. You just go through open
records.
records.
Because it said open records, I didn't know if it just was with her or not.
Nope. Yeah, then over here.
Yeah, so what you can conclude is, yes, I did clock myself in those last ones with the hours and hours and hours or whatever at the end, towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, because it says no show, like I said, I wasn't even here.
Right,
so
right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. A few more questions.
Okay.
Not to get way off in the weeds here. Did you ever get Manesha to clock you in?
No.
On the second day of this year,
Mm-hmm.
you clocked in at 6:06. Mikayla clocked in at 6:07. Manesha clocked in at 6:06. Manesha was physically there at 6:06. However, you and Mikayla didn't show up till an hour later at 7:06. So.
And you said that was what day?
The second day of this year.
This year.
January 2nd.
Like I said, any of the clock ins now.
It's just,
No,
and
I've
I understand
done
if you
that.
clock yourself in on your phone.
I have done that.
And I understand getting people to clock you in too. Like,
No, not clock me
sometimes
in.
shift.
They'll clock me out.
Like, dude, sometimes shift people do that for each other. Like, they'll be like, all right, yeah, we're all working today. I'll clock you in.
Yeah.
And we kind of have to get away from that sometimes because it adds up. But all right, so you didn't get anybody else to clock you in. All right. Has anyone ever come to you about your time and asked you, like, hey, you need to watch out or you need to stop? Has anybody brought it up to you?
No.
So no one's addressed you about your time?
The only thing that was said was recently when we had that meeting over here with Captain.
Yeah.
And he just brought up time. Now,
Okay.
he didn't specify or anything of that nature.
Okay, so he just...
But it was just a general announcement.
Yeah, I remember that. He was like, hey, watch your time, blah, blah, blah. So no one else came to you. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, nobody else came to me.
All right. Trying to cover all my bases here. Okay, I'm gonna give you another example that it's weird to me.
Okay.
On the 18th of January, so almost a month ago, the 18th, you clocked in at 6:15.
Okay.
Manesha clocked in at 6:15.
Okay.
Manesha was physically there at 6:15, but you didn't show up till 7:41 in the morning, which is over an hour later. So, can you tell me again?
And I don't claim.
Truthfully,
and
that.
I'm telling you truthfully.
So you're.
I don't recall the way my life is set up.
Okay,
all
so
the things I have going on.
All right.
I do not recall that part.
I'm.
Only thing I can tell you is
Okay.
that what I've said from Jump Street, I have clocked myself in.
Right.
Manesha, Mikayla, or whoever else, no one's clocked me in.
All right.
Now, clocking myself out, I have told you, it has been on numerous occasions, as you can see, that I have forgotten to clock myself out. And I have called and said, hey, y'all, I forgot to clock myself out or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. All right.
As far as somebody clocking me in, no one's done that.
All right. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna give another example.
Okay, give another
Let's go one day later. Let's go the 19th. Let's talk about the 19th. You clocked in at 6:54.
Mm-hmm.
Mikayla clocked in at 6:54.
Okay.
Manesha clocked in 6:53.
Okay.
Manesha was there at 6:52.
Okay.
You didn't actually physically come to the building until 7:31, and Mikayla didn't until 8 o'clock. Now we're not talking about Mikayla because she's not here.
Yeah.
But there's a pattern.
Okay.
I've worked criminal crimes before. I'm not saying this is a criminal offense and you are a criminal. I'm not accusing you of a crime. I'm just saying when I investigated crimes, you find a pattern and it's very easy to follow that pattern. And you trust your gut and it makes sense. So, and I understand you not wanting to throw anybody under the bus, but I feel like you're lying to me when you're saying that that nobody else clocked you in besides yourself when we have days consecutive days where everybody gets there at the same
around
time.
the same time.
And there's only one person out of 3 that actually is there.
Okay.
Do you have anything to say about that?
Same thing.
So
I'm responsible for clocking myself in.
Okay, so you hold that you had no one else clock you in.
Exactly.
All right.
I clock myself in.
All right.
Now I'm clocking myself out. We've already established that.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have any questions for me?
No. You said y'all have everything put together by tomorrow.
Hopefully. I will let you know.
Okay.
Or I'll let Kenny let someone to let you know it's over with. But as far as
in the meantime, I mean, I am scheduled.
in the
to
meantime,
work tomorrow.
you are working as
no, I was just
scheduled.
going to ask because if I have to stay out, I don't mind staying out.
You are to work as scheduled unless you're told by somebody else.
Okay.
I don't, like I said, if anything comes of disciplinary action, doesn't fall under the roof of IA, it falls over somebody else.
Okay.
So if they're like, Donte, you need to go home, it's not going to come from Clint.
No. I get it. You just doing your part. I was just going with the report part.
So you work as scheduled unless you hear anything else from anybody.
Okay.
Pretend like it didn't happen until you hear
I was
anything
saying,
else.
I'm still clocked in now. Because I had said when someone was going to talk to
I
you.
wouldn't expect you to.
On
No, I wouldn't expect you to clock out to come talk to me. It's work related.
Well,
although
no,
it may not be.
Remember, I told you, I said, Clint, I'm on my way out the door. So
Okay.
that's
Yep.
why.
But that concludes my interview. Unless you have any more questions.
No.
All right. Well, you're good to go, man. I appreciate your time.
No problem.